Hello and welcome to June 2023 Perceptionary card reading. Hello and welcome. My name is Emily Baker. I'm the creator of the Perceptionary cards, and if you have not seen these before, they look a little bit like this, brightly coloured. I haven't picked a card yet. I'm just in the process of shuffling them. And perhaps you've seen my other videos where I've picked a card and that, you know, we've had a look to see which way round it goes, and concentrate on the month ahead as well. So this time it's June 2023 and time seems to be going by so quickly as well. And hopefully all of you are doing really well. So I'm just shuffling the cards, and this is the back of the card. I'm trying not to look at what cards there are, but I'll give it another shuffle anyway. Those are the back of the cards. And yeah, you can pick these up at my website, through my website of emilyjbaker.co.uk. And don't worry, I've put in the details into the description below of where you can get them. Okay, so there's a link there. There's also a link obviously to my website, and from there you can actually book readings with me, because I'm not just the creator of the Perceptionary cards, but I also do readings online as well as face-to-face. Well, one card has just fallen out, so we're going to have a look at that. And then I'll also pick one. Okay, so we'll have a look at that one. Just bear with me, it's fallen on the ground. Right. So this is the card that has leapt out. And in fact, oh, I quite like it like that. Okay. So, So all I'm doing now is just deciding which way around it goes. And this may be a card that we've had before. It sometimes has happened, as we know, but I've turned it, you know, I may have had it a different way around, because I feel this way around actually. I really do feel this way around. It's quite an interesting card. Now, when you get your own pack of cards, you'll kind of go, what card is that? Do remember everything here is reversed. Also, do remember that the colours are slightly different. And when you have the card further away from you, it looks different to when it's closer to. So if I just do that, you'll kind of go, oh, it looks different, it looks different. Okay, so other things will crop up from it. So when I do turn it around, you'll see why I kind of go, oh, I can spot this, I can spot that. However, when I'm looking at it, I've already spotted a face up here. Oh, look at that. Somebody watching over there. So things tend to pop out, and actually for me, I find that when they do pop out here when I'm doing these videos, they're completely different to when I get to see them as well. So when I turn the card around to see myself, I kind of go, what am I looking at? Actually, I've just spotted another face up here as well. Now, please do write in the comments below if you have watched my video, and that if you've spotted something. Here's another face. Here's another face as well. And look, here's another face. So it's a really interesting card, this one. Really interesting, because we've got faces coming out from all angles. There's another person here. So there's lots of people. Now, June, obviously, I'm going to go straight into it, obviously. June is very much a month of, you know, we have June weddings. We talk about it's all coming alive, and it is, you know, but actually in the month of May, everything around me, I've noticed in the last week, has literally grown within kind of not inches, but feet almost. So where I take my dog out for a walk in the woods and stuff, literally bracken and things like that, and stinging nettles, where they were kind of that big, they're now massively tall. So yeah, so it's interesting how in a short space of time, with a little bit of warmth, everything comes to life. And it's a life of a differency, isn't it? It's a vibrancy to it. And I feel as though, even though that this card, some of you may think, gosh, it's a very dark card. And I know you've all heard me say this before, blue is about communication, but communication is on so many different levels, and I keep on saying that as well. Communication can be from human to human, human to animal, human to plant, plant to human, vice versa, all of that. But it's also communication with ourselves as well, and that's something that we do tend to forget about, communicating with ourselves. So I'm just going to turn the card around and just have a look. Yes, I knew that would happen. Okay, so the faces that I'm getting to see on the camera, see, I don't like to lie. I turned that around and I can see from here, for what it looks like to me, is a gentleman with a flat cap. Okay, so a flat cap. For those of you who are American, just think of Peaky Blinders. Okay, you must have seen Peaky Blinders. Just think of those flat caps, old men. So that's what I'm kind of getting to see there. This is an interesting one. Yep, not there when I turn it around. Really interesting. It's so interesting that I can see it here on the camera, but when I turn it around, I just can't see it. Right, so I'm going to have to go by with this. Now, to me, that actually looks like a young person wearing round glasses, almost like sunglasses, so enjoying the spring. If I come down here, now that looks like a dog's face. Now, for me, dogs are always about bringing new people in, leading the way, companionship, friendship, loyalty, all of that. But however, look at that face. It's a bit blurred. All right. Now, I've also got somebody here wearing a tin helmet. Circa First World War, I would say, and there seems to be like a, you know, on the bow of the old ships, circa 1600s we're going to, and for, I'm sorry Americans, but there are a few of you, it's like you have to think of the Pilgrims. When they crossed over, there would be a maiden normally on the bow of the ship, right at the very front, kind of leading the way, because ships tend to be she's, actually, as I feel. Okay, so if we have a look at it in that perspective of seeing this kind of a woman leading the way, it's very much about the femininity within ourselves coming alive, that funness as well, that ability to be creative in a different way, perhaps. Now, I'm not saying men, you are not creative. You are creative, but in a different way, okay? From my experience, and I'm going from my experience here, it's very much more on an analytical level. For the femininity side, it's much more of the intuition, shall we say, and using that intuition side of you and allowing that to come through. The communication, I do feel, is much more on a spiritual level this time round, and so you may find that you're communing with others on a completely different level, and that's absolutely great. So for me, month of June, when looking at this card, is about communication, and it's about communications on all different levels with all different types of people as well. For some of you, may find that your ancestors crop up. And now when I talk about ancestors, I don't mean circa 1600s. I mean more kind of like perhaps your parents who have passed, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, cousins, things like that. People who have passed, but you may find that your ancestors, so we're going older generation here, are coming through to just kind of give that support and that guidance. Do I think it's going to be an easy month, June? No, I don't actually. I do think things are going to crop up, and looking at this card, I do feel as though we're going to meet some resistance coming in of kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. And this is because we're following our intuition, and for some of us it may find that it's uncomfortable, hence why we've got the man with the tin helmet. We're kind of following our intuition. Our intuition says, no, we shouldn't be doing that. And it's that perhaps going out of your own norm at this stage in time. Now, this card has got a lot of what looks like, when you're looking at it, a lot of pinks and, oh, sorry for the waviness of all of that. So it looks like there's lots of purples down here, and then blues up here, but there is actually a tinge of what looks like more like turquoise as well, so that hint of green going on. Now we've got the hint of green down here, and for me that's about learning, but this darker green is about the wisdom. So again, we're going to be using our wisdom. Now, when I first looked at this card, I kind of saw this creature here with a long nose, and kind of like there's an eye here, and it's kind of go, oh my God, what is it? It's not an elephant or anything. So it did look like there's a creature, but it's coming forth and it's projecting itself forward. So I do feel as though we are going to be moving forward. We are going to be progressing quite quickly. June is going to go very, very quickly. So whatever you've got planned for the month of June, hold on to your hats, because you'll soon find yourself within a blink of the eye in July. All right. So if you've made plans for July, you'll find yourself there quicker than before. If you are thinking of August and September, it's all going to go really rapidly quickly, and at all different angles as well. I do feel like it's going to be a much, I was going to say fun month. Actually, I do feel as though you see, the sunshine always, and I'm just going to say weather-wise, sunshine always does bring out the smiles in people. Now, if you've been in the UK for at least the last few days or weeks, you'll find that yes, we've got the sunshine, but boy, is that cold as well. It hasn't seemed to warmed up yet to the fullest extent. We haven't had a huge amount of rain in the month of May either. So yes, farmers are starting to ask for rain again. I've been asking for sunshine. So, you know, let's start asking for rain again, shall we? But only light showers, please. Let's not have anything too heavy. Now, I'm just going to tilt this card because I just suddenly saw something, and I wondered if you kind of saw something kind of going on over here. So that's my kind of reading for this month of June. It is going to be a little bit more challenging. That's the best word to put it. Challenging for ourselves in certain ways. Keeping hold of everything. That's what the maiden does at the front. She keeps hold of the ship. Keeping it steered aright, looking after it, protecting it. And I think we're going to find that a little bit of a struggle this month, of just being true to ourselves, being honest, because we're going to be pulled in different directions. I think we're going to meet resistance as well, perhaps not from ourselves, but from others. We may meet it from ourselves because we're in an uncomfortable zone. And if you are using your intuition much more, that's fantastic. Write it all down, put it into a book, into a notebook, and just say the things that you're experiencing, because I feel as though it's going to be up a little bit of a level here. For me, the old man up here is very much just telling me, oh, you know, it's kind of like, we're just watching, seeing what happens. And maybe the older ways are the better ways. Okay, keeping it simple, keeping it clean, keeping it nice and easy. Don't overcomplicate things, because once we overcomplicate things, we're getting down here. Where we want to be is more up here, all right? This is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for this person in the sunglasses. That's what we're aiming for. But we may find that we're kind of much more here, and we just want to go up this other level. So here is about the resistance. Here is about being kind of our complicated lives that we can lead. Here is about, finding new systems, finding ways of making it much more simple, and sliding through that water, meeting that resistance, but kind of go, actually, this is quite easy. It's okay. It's all right. I can meet this resistance, and I can breathe through it. I can sail through the resistance. Eventually, I'll get there with the words. Sail through with the resistance, and come through shining at the other end. I do feel as though all of us are going to have people surrounding us, and we're going to have people coming around us who can help us and guide us and just kind of keep us on track, but also just kind of remind us what it is that we're aiming for as well. So this year is very much a year of where we are trying to achieve certain goals within our own lives, where we're wanting to be for 2024. Now, I personally always work in even years. I always find even years are better for me than uneven years. Weirdly enough, I can always remember 1987. Weird, I know. Every other year, I can't really remember. But 1987, if any of you are watching out there, hello from 1987. I do find that a year where it is very much one that is embedded in my mind completely. It was a very poignant year, and I have a feeling that 2023 is going to be one of those years where things happen on a personal level, on a work level, on a family level, where, you know, things have happened where it's just like, oh my God, it's ding, 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 ding. So 2023 is also going to be a year to remember, but remember as well that just to stay grounded, all right? Just, you do need to stay grounded. You do need to have your feet on the ground as well. I do find, I love this gentleman. He intrigues me. He really does intrigue me. But anyway, I find him, he's quite supportive and charming. There's another gentleman up here as well. There's a couple of other people up here. All of it very good. So yes, keep grounded, keep returning to yourself. If you're not sure how to stay grounded, and someone says, oh yes, no, I do cleansing and things like that. And no, that's great, absolutely great. For me, cleansing, I find actually having a long shower or a long bath, doesn't have to have any bubbles in it. In fact, I prefer it not to actually do a proper cleanse. And if anything, I put a little bit of salt in from time to time, not all of the time. It is about the water going over my energies, going over my body, and cleansing all of the different levels, the auras, etc. For being grounded, it is about breathing, bringing it back in. For me, it is about knowing that my feet are on the ground, and if I'm really not kind of grounded, I've just got to think in a more analytical way, if you like. And not kind of think too deeply, not think too much about it, but just keeping it, again, being simple. Being with nature always helps me, and what I tend to do, this is why I have a dog, you see. I tend to also go out with the dog, and we do walks, and I will be chuntering to myself and kind of going through everything in my mind out loud. Nothing is always as bad as it sounds. In your head, it's always 10 times worse than if you say it out loud, okay? So, yeah, so absolutely look after yourselves, all right, as well. So I'm just going to have a look to see if there's anything else cropping up in this card. You see, now when I turn it around this way, it does look like an elephant. There's the elephant's eye and the trunk coming down here. Weird, I know, but it does. Or actually, do you know, it really does, yes, oh, forgotten the name, but the Indian goddess, or god or whatever, that has the elephant's face, gear, I think it is, and the many arms and things like that. That's what it reminds me of, okay? So plentifulness. And you will find that when you have a look at that goddess, it will have an arm with the scythe, and it will have the arm for money, it will have the arm for this, and I have an arm. It's about plentifulness. So yes, I think we are going to see a growth of some description, of growth of wealth of some description. Now remember, wealth is not necessarily monetary wise. Wealth can be about your health. Wealth can be about how you perceive your life to be. It can be really rich and fulfilling and wealthy. Just think if you are thinking of a bechamel sauce. All right, here we go. A normal cream sauce, okay? So a cream sauce can be rich and creamy and wealthy, but actually there's no substance to it. All it is just cream, you know, it's flour, flour, butter and milk. There's no real substance to it. It's a sauce, but yet it's rich and creamy and it adds everything into it to give that sense of luxury as well. So just consider that when you're considering what you consider life to be, what you consider wealth to be, what you consider success to be, and things like that. So other things will come out. Okay, so turning it this way, I do feel as though this, I'm almost looking at an upside down waterfall, weirdly enough. So yes. Now the other way of looking at this actually is almost to see it as a dragonfly. So if we looked at that as a dragonfly without the wings, we can look at it as a transformational. Going back to what I was talking about earlier, of looking at June as being one of those months where we're going inward, we're using our intuition. For some of us, that may be actually very transformational. And there, the dragonfly, or if you want to see a dragonfly, a nymph, or a mayfly, whatever it is, They last a short time, but they all go through the same process. You can see it as a caterpillar if you like. A caterpillar is actually really interesting transformational wise, and I don't know if it's the same with the other insects I've already mentioned, but a caterpillar will actually in the pupae go almost to a liquid state before it becomes back into a solid. Isn't that fascinating? So absolutely fascinating. So yeah, so we bring the card back to here, and yes, I suppose that, yeah, I do see it as kind of like a dragonfly sort of a creature, if you like. So have the wings to explore and enjoy and all the rest of it, but do stay grounded as well. The month of June is going to go very quickly for us this year, so hold on to your hats. You've got the support around there. Use your intuition, go for it. You may find it uncomfortable, that'd be good, but you may find that you go through it a lot easier through the month of June by using your intuition, and you may find that any resistance that you're coming across actually is not so bad after all. So thank you for listening to me, and I enjoy. Again, do have a look at the links and the description below. It will give you a lot more information, and you'll be able to find out where to get hold of these Perceptionary cards. Enjoy, and I'll see you next month. Take care now. Bye.